Hello, everybody. Quick warning before we start, you might hear a lot of drilling and you might hear a lot of construction noises. I have people remodeling a bathroom underneath me, pretty much. So you will... Yeah, prepare to hear that throughout the entirety of the session. I'll try to mute myself where need be. That way I can mitigate the most of it. But just be warned that this is happening. Alrighty, so coming back. Alrighty, so last time you guys discovered that there were trace elements of a ritual circle at all of the crime scenes. You all talked to Detective Marcus. Yep, Marcus. You learned that one of the mayoral candidates that was being held for questioning at the town guard headquarters, a liar Dana, is dead. She was killed inside of the holding cells, and you are now meeting Marcus for dinner in the beautiful coin.
He also told me not to just break into the biggest suspect's house, which I am sad about.
Mm-hmm.
I like direct
and him hinting that he knows about a little bit of my character's reputation.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so the door opens, you all enter, you are ushered to your table, and Marcus is there, waiting for you. So what did you find?
the other way.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
I thought he was going to have more information than us coming into this meeting.
Was that supposed to be what happened?
When we was at these...
We were waiting to act until he got information.
Refresh my memory really quickly. Information on...
He wanted us to wait until he could come meet us so that we could organize a proper raid onto the guy's house. Instead of us just going off on our own and doing it ourselves. So to kill some time, we rechecked out the old...
Yes. Okay. So, Marcus starts off by going over what he knows about the place, just general knowledge. It's very heavily fortified. There are a ton of guards patrolling every hour. There is a guard change every 2 hours. So, during the night, if we're able to get in during one of the guard changes, that would be the preferred method of entry. Now, as for points of entry, there are several that we can go. We can go either through the front door during the guard change. The front door is left sort of wide open. However, from my own going about, I am unsure as to if there is a guard or guards posted on the inside. Second off is through a back entrance that leads into the courtyard. The guard change, the station for the guards is kind of right next to the entrance, so if we could slip underneath the window that the guards can look out into this hallway, that would be preferred. Other than that, the rooftop would be another option, and then we could swing onto, there is a second floor balcony into one of the foyers that looks out beyond the courtyard. The guards are privately owned, which is another thing. They're not city guards, so they technically have no authority to kill or harm anyone. Their purpose is to detain.
Will it be just us on this mission?
Repeat that one more time. You went a little pixely.
Will it be just us on this mission?
Again, you went a little pixely at the end.
Weird. Will it be just us?
That was the plan. Did you have anyone else that you wanted to get involved? The fewer people that know, the better.
That's not certain how your guard organizations work. Whether we'd be joining in on a massive strike or otherwise.
No. As for the house itself, it's pretty well guarded. It's off on the main road. Not a lot of people are even seen on the streets, so approaching from the streets would be an issue unless we hug the wall of the city wall.
I am alright with either going through rooftops or just sneaking along walls. I'm not particularly skilled in or lacking in either way.
Well, personally for me, I think I'd prefer more of the staying on the ground. I'm a little flexible when it comes to rooftop running, but I'm better on the ground if you catch my drift.
Yes. Then I think we should go through the courtyard. If then. The courtyard would leave us a bit more open to surprises, however, we'd be able to anticipate them at the same time.
Loud whisper to Marcus. Should we hold back?
Honestly,
Do you get
their
what-
purpose is to detain, not really to kill. However, they might have been given orders to kill by him due to the murders, so
With a
within
man that has power.
reason, try to knock them out.
He was definitely being like, oh, should I not get caught or not hold back? Is there reason to hide things?
Definitely hide. This is not sanctioned by the city guard at all, so we could all technically get arrested for this.
Finir kind of scoffs, but accepts it anyways. He just seems to not like it.
I know it's a tough pill to swallow, friend. But them's the breaks.
This is the longest I've been in the city for a long time. Alright. Will we attack tonight? No time to lose.
Best do it now. The longer this goes on, the more guards he may start bringing in, so best start now.
Yes, I would agree. All right.
If this isn't sanctioned, should you be hiding your face, Marcus?
Well, yes, of course I will be. And you see, almost without him even moving, his facial structure changes to slightly off from his own face, but different enough that someone wouldn't be able to draw the conclusion between the two.
God gum. Some trick you got.
It comes with great patience.
I suppose that's my weakness, then.
Oh,
Yeah, I got the patience, but I don't
You-
think I want.
technically wouldn't be able to do this. My mother was a changeling.
Just kind of like snap
Oh.
fingers, like, that explains it.
I'm able to change small bits. The face, hair, not all at once, but I can change little bits. Makes things easier when needing to go undercover.
Your parents sound like an interesting couple.
They were.
Alright. Do we need anything else to prepare? I'm not certain if either of you are helped by.
But
I want to say like material goods. Yeah, you want to buy stuff.
I think for Mason, he's fine. He'll probably change his. He changed his weasel to a rat. Now he'll probably change it to an owl, or some, some aerial views.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Yeah,
So,
you got your little tricks. I got mine.
the night goes on, and you all travel out of the city and into and along the city wall to about here. The house on the end being your target. A small courtyard in the center with a back entrance facing away from the farms and towards the city wall. As you guys go along the wall itself, you see several guards patrolling around as you are going through. Some of them city guards, others private guards. Of the private guards, you actually see several different emblems on their shirts being different, different, like, people they're protecting.
wish to capture the man who owns this property? Do we have a physical description?
Korn Zypher. He's a well-dressed politician. He is running for mayor for simply the fact of the nobility. No other things pollute him. This city has long stood away from those of nobility being on the edge of the kingdom itself. We are seen as one of the least important cities in the kingdom. No doubt by this time he will be getting ready for bed, as it is nearing midnight. However, I will give you one thing. Not much is known about him. He arrived to the city and moved into this house on the edge and propping up the other houses, making what once was another part of the slums no longer slums. Repeat that one more time. That was way too quiet for me to hear.
You knew he was human.
As far as we know, he is human. I never looked into his family history myself.
Have you
He's a
seen
bit
him?
tall. He could have a bit of elven in his blood. But by all means, he looks human.
Does he seem formidable? Like he's has like daggers underneath his pockets or any magical capabilities to him?
He does have some magical capabilities. From what I've seen, they've mostly been defensive. As for daggers and things, I have never seen him wield such weapons. Cutlery fork has been the most deadly that I've seen.
Excuse me, I'm still worried I won't be able to tell him from a guard. I have to imagine, you said he was taller. Rotund fellow? Wearing purple?
I'm sorry, you said something before purple.
Rotund fellow?
I don't actually know. What does that word mean? Because I actually don't know.
Is he fat?
Oh, no.
Yeah, fair.
No. I don't know what that word means.
Yeah, Rotund's kind of like
it's
legit, like
a much
around.
nicer way to ask if they're fat.
Okay. Well, now I know. No, he's, I wouldn't say he's not very lean, and he's not very fat either. He's kind of in the middle
Alright.
of the spectrum. He's kind of just like average build, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're looking for a kind of tall, average-built man in a castle of humans.
Well, he will be the only person in a nightgown.
Alright, I can work with that.
I've worked with less.
Yes. From my accounts, he should be on the top floor in the master bedroom. As far as I know, no guards are allowed on the second floor, so we shouldn't have any issues once we get up there.
Let's get moving forward.
Yes, let's.
Pinner will start walking, like, on the front, unless someone insists otherwise.
I'll probably Mason will probably have his owl do some scouting from above real quick.
As your owl scouts from above, you notice the beginning workings of the shift change happen. Like, they're just starting to begin shift change.
Looks like they're starting to change the shift. Now or
Alright,
never.
everyone roll me stealth.
As a
Alright.
12 for Mason.
Alright, and their awareness level is okay. As you sneak through and you get into the courtyard itself without a hitch, once from there you see a spiral staircase, quite tightly rung, going straight up to the second floor, to a second floor balcony. Going up this way will leave you all quite exposed if a guard were to see you, as well as the fact that as you touch it, you notice that it is quite, it can be quite creaky.
Is there any other way up?
Inside the house, there's just in the courtyard itself. There are other doors in the courtyard leading. One to the left is leading to a dining room. One to the right is leading to sort of like a trophy room. One to the north is leading to more of a hallway, and then south is where you came from. That's just a hallway.
Let's get inside. If we wish to not kill, then I would prefer a tight corridor to these open sight lines.
I would agree. Where do you wish to go?
So I understood trophy
Good.
room, hallway, and what was the first one?
The dining room.
Dining room.
Trophy room would have the most information possible be there.
The hallway would provide favorable battle positions, at least for me.
But that could also have the most guards walking through it. The trophy room looks empty. It doesn't look like anyone's been in there in quite a while. We might be able to survey their patterns.
Of all the places they want to guard, the valuables is not it.
Well, does a bank have a guard stationed in the vault? Or do they have a guard stationed around the vault?
All right.
Alright. So, do you guys go into the trophy room?
Yeah.
Alright. As you enter into the trophy room, you see several cases of several different artifacts and different things. Some things you know from history that you've been told, like, oh, you know what this is like one of the scepters from one of the fallen kings that used to rule over this land, or oh, this crown used to belong to such and such. On the wall, there is To both Fenrir and Marcus's horde, there is a wall of heads with placards. All of them werewolf heads.
How could you tell?
Due to their large size.
I mean, like, don't werewolves turn back to humanoid form when they die? So wouldn't it just be like human skulls?
No, these are full. Now, what could have happened is they could have Marcus. Actually, I'll have Marcus give you some context for this one. Marcus
Okay.
chimes up and says, "Who the hell would skin a werewolf?"
So I take it werewolves don't necessarily transform back when they die.
We do, but it's a slow process. It's not immediate as transforming when you're alive. When you're dead, the process is much slower. If someone were to want to, they'd be able to skin your pelt, stuff a vessel such as these, and put the skin on there and mark them as trophies.
Jason's kind of like jaw on the ground, like, is this even legal?
Technically, yes. In the Kingdom of Wolves, werewolves have a iffy relationship with the law. Technically, yes, murder is illegal. However, werewolves being as their unknown nature, if the party who killed them claimed that they were attacking and with injuries as proof, it would be written off as self-defense against a monster. Cruel,
Bullshit
isn't
if I
it?
ever heard.
Oh, trust me, I'm well aware of that fact.
Saying you're allowed to skin the fucker that tried to come at you with a butcher's knife on the street.
Technically, after that point, once it's deemed as a monster attack, you can technically do whatever the fuck you want with the body.
Honestly, the laws don't surprise me. Nations are not the kindest, but this seems excessive.
I will say there are better countries on the opposite side of the theocracy and the other side of the uncharted lands. The Kingdom of Aves, Chipseave, and the Tyr Empire have bans on hunting werewolves. We just
Yeah,
got
seems
news
legitimately
that they
surprised by
passed
this.
these laws just recently.
Yeah, and Mason just kind of looks up and shakes his head. The air of death would hate seeing this.
All right,
what
we
was the
better not
name that you
litter.
said again?
Air of death.
Zeradeth would very much not be pleased with this sight.
Let's see if we can find a way to the next floor.
Yes. Does anyone want to do any sort of other investigating in this room?
Yeah, I would like to do either a perception or an investigation. I'd prefer investigation, but if you want perception, that's fine too.
I'm going to do investigation, because technically you guys are investigating this whole time. So you're looking more closely than just peering and seeing what's going on.
Alright, 16.
Alright. As you're looking around, you notice that towards the wall of all the werewolf heads, there is large cases, kind of like, they're about 6 foot tall, and then the werewolf's heads start from like that 6 foot tall point up to the ceiling, which is like another 2 feet, and each plaque takes up maybe like a foot, and they're all stagmented, so there's a lot of them, but there's also a bunch of cases underneath of them. As you go and you look at all these cases of these fine weapons and craftsmen, you notice that one of the 2 of them actually have scrape marks on the floor, as if they were pulled open like doors.
Yeah, Mason's pointing to the others about these scrape marks.
Interesting. And Marcus tries to pull on one of them and he says, "Locked. There might be a mechanism somewhere."
They hold him in here.
They hold what in here?
Finner's gonna be like, he was watching the hallway, making triple sure no one was coming, and comes back and then like, you'll have to excuse me, I'm a tad lost. What does the scraping mean?
Means there could be a passage behind these shelves, but it's locked.
Yeah. I wish I had a lockpicking set on me. I spent too much on getting this magnifying glass.
There's no keyhole anywhere to be seen, and as he kind of feels around the case itself, there's no button or any other type of lever to press, so there must be another mechanism somewhere in this room. Somewhere nearby. Anyone else want to look around?
Sure.
Make me
Finner will
perception
check around.
checks. The 2 of
Alright,
you.
yeah, perception. Alright.
I need to
21.
do the thing.
I don't
20.
know. Okay. You both look around, and you both notice a bust, and so does Marcus. You all 3 notice this bust. This bust looks kind of awfully put from the rest of the content in the room. It is the only bust in the room, and it kind of looks out of place. The bust is of an old man, and as Marcus looks at it, he goes, "This bust looks familiar. I do not know from where, though." He puts his hand onto the bust itself, and the scalp of the bust opens up, and there is a lever inside. Do we think we should pull it?
Oh, daggum. Well,
Walks the hallway. He kind of like stands further away.
well, we don't really have a lot of options. But you say this guy looks familiar to you?
Yes, I can't place it though.
Can
Not
Mason-
offhand.
Can Mason make a history check, or would this be out of his knowledge?
Go ahead and make a history check. You can. Let's see if it's in your knowledge. If you remember, you do not.
7 would say no.
Nope. He is like a figment in basic history. So it would technically be within anyone's knowledge, but being able to recall who it is takes a little bit. Do you want to try Fenrir? Alright.
Sure. What did he get on that?
We got a
It's a
16. All right, so you know that this is a bust of Yen Sidric a long time ago, before he worked at the university.
I guess we'll say that. It's like, oh, the group I joined, they're from the college. I've seen this face before. It was one of their old teachers. Those seems a lot younger.
Mason kind of nods. Well, this is just a professor, and it's not some type of backstabber or traitor, then maybe it's safe to pull.
Oh, Yen
Mason's like,
Sidric was many things, but I believe this should be safe. He pulls up and it clicks. And when it clicks, the two cases pop open and slowly begin to open.
Good work. Finnerer will go across the room as if to just start heading up.
As you
Mason.
approach this now darkened opening, you notice that it does not go up, it goes down.
Spooky basement time.
Do we know of a basement here? Or is this a surprise?
I didn't know there was supposed to be a basement in this house. I mean, most houses do, but to hide the entrance.
That means nothing good's down there.
Well,
Maybe that's what we're looking for then.
exactly. Nothing good might be what we need.
Just steady yourselves. I've been down to a few basements that had some pretty fucked up shit.
I think we'll run into any guards down there.
I doubt it, with this entrance being so hidden and whatnot.
In that case, I think I would rather be ready for a less than natural fight.
Mason would like to kind of just listen out, just kind of like see if he hears anything coming down further, besides like, small chit chat and like their steps or breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Like hear possible people like screaming for their lives or anything like
Make
anything
me
else.
a perception check.
Right. That is a 9.
You hear absolutely nothing. This chilling of silence as you stop to look and hear down the stairs. The only thing you slightly hear is the slight crackle of a torch, which light you can see just a little bit down the stairs.
So Finrear is implying that he wants to transform right now. Is Marcus going to particularly stop him, or?
No. Marcus will look at... Are you going to full transform?
I'm better at using hybrid form, so I'm going to use hybrid form.
So he kind of just looks at you and goes, cautious much?
Yeah, Mason's kind of like he doesn't really get the context. He's kind of like looking like, what's going on?
Yeah, so Finrear's face is going to pretty substantially change structure. He'll get a tad bit hairier, but considering that he had a full beard before, there's only so much further you can go. He gets teeth and obvious nails, leans forward a little bit, but it's not crazy considering what you've seen
Yeah, no.
werewolves
Hybrid form
before.
for this universe is still like human skin type thing. Just longer nails as claws, fangs, and teeth, and the facial structure changes a bit. Full transformation is more like what the hybrid form would be if you were doing normal D&D, which is like whole hairy ass beast.
Van Helsing werewolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
But Spinner just like chuckle, talking a bit like significantly slower now.
Yeah, because it
I'm more
takes him a
comfortable
minute
like
to like pronunciate words more.
Yeah, Mason just kind of like jumps back a little bit, like, ah, goddamn, one fella next time. Just kind of like grabs his chest, like, oh shit.
more comfortable like this. Anyways,
I would have thought you would be more comfortable in a cage.
Marcus didn't say that, right?
No.
Yeah. I'm picturing Marcus saying that, and then like just in a really slow response, "Fuck you."
So as you guys go down the stairs, with that little delay, seconds after you go down a couple steps, the cases begin to turn back and shut. And Marcus goes, must be on a timer. Let's see here. Oh, there's a switch right here on the wall. So we're not trapped. We can get out afterwards. Which will be helpful.
Yes.
Something else is this staircase is not winding. This staircase goes down for a while. And at one point it straightens out. And it continues as a hallway. But you guys have been traveling for a long time. And Marcus makes the comment of, I wonder if we're even still in the village. We were headed towards outside of the village from the staircase's direction, but I wonder how far out the village we are, truly.
Emergency exit. Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm pretty sure since familiars have to be within like a certain distance to their owner, like Mason just kind of like peer through like his owl who's still probably outside.
Yeah.
Still.
Your owl is looking at farmland.
Yeah, we're not in the village anymore. My big buddy upstairs, he sees farmland.
This is not boding well.
Whatever he's got, he really wants to hide it.
Apparently.
It shows that he has more resources than we may have thought.
There's an entrance going forward. Be ready for anything. As Marcus opens the door inside, you are still in the basement level. As you go through, it is a crypt. There are people, things sleeping on stone beds, coffins, on the floor and also upright. Marcus quietly closes the door again and says, all right. At this point, we're going to need to be as quiet as a mouse. Luckily, and he kind of looks at his clock and he goes, luckily, it is turning to dawn now. This is not what I expected. We need to find the stairs up and out of this building.
Is what we expected. Is this the
Yes.
monster?
This is a vampire coven haven.
Oh, gods.
As far as I've
Oh.
seen, just peering through this doorway, I've counted about 15.
Not spawn?
I've no clue. I've only looked. But there are 15 entities that could or could not be vampires, in which case I would rather not, because I've only seen a section of this place, and I do not know how much bigger it is. So, we should be quiet, we should be stealthy. Got it?
It's
Fine.
nice.
Alright, everyone roll me stealth, please.
Okay. 16.
One moment. Uh, 11.
Okay. Alright, so what do we get here?
A 16 and 11.
16 and an 11. That is lucky for you guys.
I mean, I got a 2 on my d20, so
Oh.
Is that a d20? No, that was a d8.
no, because I also added superiority dice.
Oh, okay. I'm like looking at this and I'm going, no, that's a d8 right there.
The one right before it is a d20 with my +7 modifier, and then I also added dice from being
Superior.
what's the maneuver called? Ambush.
Ambush? Oh, okay.
Ambush
So-
maneuver.
As you guys quietly go through, you guys sneak through, going through, all the while Marcus is just counting every new thing he hears, and he is just whispering this to you. By the time you hit the staircase, he is at 63.
I want to add one moment where one of the bodies like rolls and nearly hits Fenrir, and he has to like super crazily dodge around them to not run into them. That'll be my maneuver.
As you guys climb up the stairs, there is another lever that gets pulled, and Marcus twists it, and it opens up a pantry cabinet. And as you exit, Marcus kind of pushes the cabinet a bit, and it goes and it shuts, and he goes, okay, that was not what I enjoyed.
Yeah. I don't think any of us are ready to handle this type of firepower.
I don't think anyone in this frickin' city is.
But that brings up a question. How did so many of these vampires come together?
Well, that could be a question for the mister who has a tunnel. Leading directly to its lair.
Need to return.
Yes, we
eventually.
do. Well, as you look around, this is one of the abandoned farmhouses. So this isn't one that somebody's currently like living in. This is one of the abandoned farmhouses. And as you exit, in the distance, you can see the slums and you can see the city before you.
Plan? Yes.
I'm sorry?
He just says plan, but it's a question.
I honestly, I don't know. I need to report what I found. They won't be happy with me going a bit rogue, but what can I do about that? As for Mr. Cypher, stay away from him. For all we know, he could be a vampire. In which case, that would not be ideal.
Fenrir's gonna, like, transform back, which looks just as painful as the first process. And it'll talk a little bit faster. We don't have time. We're not here to prevent minor problems. We need to kill the creature that plans to destroy our world, and go and move on to the next one.
Mason would be kind of like taken aback. Wait, what do you mean destroy our world? I mean, yeah, vampire has a small army. Yeah, that's terrible. Awful terrible. What do you mean?
I had honestly assumed that whoever sent you was worried about the big picture. So
My
others have other.
sources don't tell me everything. They only tell me what I need to know at the time.
Yes, and I doubt Zardath is aware of this threat that they speak of. As of yet. If you have communication to her, Mason, you will need to inform her. But Fenrir, I believe you should explain things to him. He needs an explanation.
I learned through Uller. He gave me a divine vision. Though, as I understand it, the others in our group found out firsthand. There is an ancient force, a demon perhaps, something powerful, that's breaking free of its long-kept bonds. If he arrives, which he will in a matter of time, we do not have. We can only hope that our armies can take on his forces. But currently in this plane, he has servants. Many of them are siphoning power onto the main being who is going to summon him. If we can kill the sources of his power, we may be able to stop him from being summoned. DM, is that fair?
That's a fair interpretation, yes.
And Mason's just chuckling like, man, I thought I thought this was just a simple little side project I was given.
I am afraid it will require more than just a side project's attention.
Yep. God damn it. Well,
now you know why I cared so little for the local laws. I would prefer if we could just find our target, battle, and move on. We don't have time
That
for
is
local
true. However,
intricacies.
from what I've heard from both you and Nox, none of you know the exact timeline, meaning you could have years at this point. They still have how many locks to break before they can free him?
3 out of 6.
You have time. One hasn't broken yet. You still have 3 locks.
Plus, there's that possibility that this could. Now, it is kind of the equivalence of red tape and red, thread in it, but there could be a connection with this in whole end of the world. From what I can understand, I mean, I'm not a vampire expert, but I've never heard of a coven being this big.
Oh, there are covens this big, alright. But this place, it looks more like a stepping ground. Looking around here, this is secluded and isolated. The basement below provides adequate shelter. This looks to be a secondary point, not a point for them to convene. The coffins and the stone padding and the stone slabs down there, they looked as if they were worn, but not to the people sleeping there, to other people. I believe this is just a way station for vampires. A place for them to sleep during the day and travel at night to somewhere else.
We just walk through a vampire inn, is what you're saying.
Essentially. And if we woke any of them up, we'd be dead.
And Mason's just rubbing his face like, God damn it.
The problem we're having is local. It's not out this way. I doubt any vampire is veering this far into the city to grab a quick bite without him knowing about it, and without him retaliating against them. After the first one, it would have stopped.
If the noble is a vampire, then perhaps he is the one we're looking for.
He might be, but then again, red tape. You might not like the red tape, however, it keeps you out of jail, and it allows you to continue to find the other beings you need to. You might not like local laws, but you need to obey them. If not, you will be in jail, and the end of the world will happen, and there is nothing you can do about it. Would you rather have that?
You can at least excuse my frustration.
I can,
Trust me.
and I
Trust me,
will.
Fenrir. Both of us, we understand. If there's anybody that understands, it's us. We have to deal with this on a daily basis. Bullshit.
Red tape is bullshit.
I do not. I don't have very many laws where I live normally. I suppose that's one upside.
Yes. Well, here. So what's step 2 in this? I mean, he's just kind of like motions to the city. I doubt they can handle these many possible vampires that could be in here.
No, they won't. And by the next night, there probably won't be any left. There have been word that the Silver Dagger has been expanding their role to vampires as of late, instead of just solely focusing on werewolves, due to the fact that in many times of need, a vampire is more willing to open their door to a werewolf being hunted than an ordinary person. I'm sure you have experienced that in the past, Fenrir. I'm sorry, what was that?
Have I?
Yes.
Did they got very many vampires where I come from?
It's
Probably more than usual.
it's rare. It's rare for the occasion that you run into a vampire, but on the occasions when you were like in the run, there have been one or two times when a vampire has opened their door and helped you.
In that case, he'll just nod and grunt approvingly.
Alright. So, we gotta get these silver daggers involved.
No.
I
That would be suicide for the two of us.
Oh. Trust me, I don't want to affiliate. I just want to make sure the city is safe. And if there's this many vampires here...
Trust me. When I make the inquiry, Serena Vampiros will go directly to the Silver Dagger and will sniff this one out without having either of us involved in the process, making us scot-free and ill from suspicion.
The silver dagger is like a wizard's poisonous cloud.
Exactly.
They'll come in and kill what you have problems with, along with everything else.
That is true. But Serena has some good holdings with those who have arrived from the nearby village, from the nearby city. She has provided coin to them in the past, and it has been beneficial to her. I will approach it and will nominate them as such. And I will nominate. What concerns me is that he did not think to guard the other side of the door. This cabinet can easily be pushed over. It is not as secure as the cabinets in the trophy room, as well as the fact that the door leading back to the trophy room is plain as day.
I know that there is a security in isolation and distance.
That is true. Anyways, let's trek back to town. You guys go ahead and clean up. I'll do my job.
As we walk, I'll try and discuss future plans. Finrir is basically just assuming that the next night they're gonna do the same thing and actually confront the guy.
Jason's gonna tell Fenrir, I gotta write a letter to my patron. Giving her information about this, I kind of need her guidance.
You wish to wait for a letter to return?
More like, you can get a hold of me, I have a hard time getting a hold of her. All I need is just to send her a letter.
Just Fenrir thinking of how he imagines letters work. I'm sure he doesn't send them very often. How long would it take a letter to go even a city over?
Quite quickly.
Okay.
So Mason, you write your letter.
Yeah.
And you do what every normal citizen within the known kingdoms does. You go over, and there's a designated bell for the mail delivery. And you ring the bell, and out from nowhere comes this small child, and he goes, "Got a letter for me?"
As he hands the letter, yes, this is the shaman woman, Lady Aerodeth.
Ah. I will be there in 2 hops and a skip. And as you blink, he is gone.
Wow, I've never seen a letter sent before.
Yeah, it's an interesting system we got. Either way, she's a lot wiser than me, so getting her guidance should be able to help.
Where do you guys want to go? You guys are now in the town, fully fledged, waiting for Marcus to finish his thing.
We're up all night. You want to go to sleep?
Alright.
Yeah. Mason will probably go to where he probably rented a room.
Alrighty, no problem.
We're having our normal sleep time. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Go ahead and sleep. There's not much I can do here. Yeah. As things go, Marcus comes around the time that you get to the beautiful coin, and he says, "Alright, I've started putting in my report, but I wouldn't expect anything to come of it until after the mayoral election. Hopefully, he doesn't get elected. If so, that is a little more red tape than I would like." However, it would still be doable, especially with the silver dagger being already tipped off. As for Serena, Serena is kind of in ruin right now. She's trying to pick up her reputation. The murder in the jail cell really did stifle her chances. There is still, though, a good amount of people that do believe in her, so hopefully that will make the difference.
Fenrir just kind of shrugs. I'm having trouble moving past just going into the guy's house and killing him.
You can't do that, because then I have to arrest you.
Not if I leave.
You forget that I am not stationed solely to this town. I can go throughout the entirety of the kingdom and find you.
Some reason I'm hoping you were even staying here.
It's just a headache, Fenrir. It's one of those things of you'll cause more problems. Trust me, we all feel like we want to do it too, but just gotta go with the flow on this one.
He'll roll his eyes, but he'll actually smile like he's joking.
Anyways, you're all tired, I bet. Go ahead and get some rest. Tonight will be very interesting with the election going on.
So how do these elections work?
Well, everyone goes in a line in front of the mayor's house. One side enters, one side leaves. You enter. Several of the courtrooms are turned into sort of voting booths. Um, you vote. You cast your ballot via crystal ball, and um, through its magical network, it will count up all the votes, and that's who the winner becomes.
Well, they use magic for everything here, don't they?
Well, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, dealing with the paperwork.
Just
You
not what I'm
lose some
used to.
ballots, people sneak in a few extra. It makes it a bit like streamlined.
The I'll just like add in that Finir like, well, he got a more detailed explanation. He had questions about the very basic concepts like voting and mayors.
How voting works? You want to know how voting works? All right.
No, he's asking questions as he goes, and the questions give the vibe that he didn't even know the basic concepts.
Yeah.
Why don't I
definitely Mason
start
would
from
be
the basics of
explaining this.
basics of concepts here? Voting is when someone puts a name on what's called a ballot, which is a list of names that can be elected for a certain position. And he goes on and on for hours and hours, telling you what voting is, telling you how magic works, telling you how the voting system for magic works, telling you what a mayor does, and all this kind of crap.
Yeah, well, Mason's like, oh god, just kill me now. Like, I didn't need to keep hearing about this. My parents kept forcing this into my head. He doesn't say anything, but he's like, god damn it.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, oh god, look at the time. I need to submit this paperwork by the end of the day. Can I have you two sign this?
Sure.
Saying that you found the evidence of the ritual ash at the crime scenes after the fact.
Fenrir shrugs. Sure.
Mason just does a quick, like, glance over to make sure it's legit that. Because he's probably been screwed in the past when people just tell him to sign something real quick.
Ooh. Okay, what do you want to use? Investigation? Arcane?
Let's do investigation.
Investigation.
I think that's kind of like he wants to like
that. That's almost a definition of reading through papers to find like specific wordings and stuff.
No,
Yeah,
Fenrir, you
it's
just
it's
sign
not-
without any thought, right?
Like, yeah, he doesn't like Fenrir doesn't understand that this like why does this matter?
yeah, a 23 on investigation.
All right. Fenrir signs, and you're looking over all the documents, and yes, they all appear to be what he says they are. However, underneath is a slight hint of magic embossed into the pages themselves.
Can you tell what type it is? But since he's also been an investigator, probably worked similar stuff.
No, not really.
You roll
Ask
Arcana
about
to
it.
make a guess.
Go ahead.
Right. Ooh, nat 1. That's a no.
You have no clue what type of magic this is.
Yeah. Mason kind of looks up at Marcus like you could tell there's some type of bullshit going on. He keeps his eyes locked on him. Doesn't
He
even like look.
doesn't give off any warning signs of anything. He's just like, "Are you gonna sign it?"
He signs it, but he's still staring at him as he does it.
Jesus.
He can just stay silent. He just hands over the paperwork.
You guys just like look at each other.
All right. He goes, "Great," and he kind of like does that thing on the table where people like shuffle papers together and make them into like a neat stack, and he goes, "All right, I will see you later then," and he goes off.
Yeah, Mason waits until he's at a like earshot distance as he tells Fenrir the paper had some magic on it.
Wait, what? How?
I genuinely don't know what type of magic it was, but something was off. I've been screwed over in the past by just signing paperwork, but right now had to just go with the flow.
I didn't think the paper could do anything.
It's not the paper itself. There was something like inside it, probably like some a rune or maybe some like magical ink attached to it.
That has me worried.
That's why you saw me. That's why you saw me looking him up. He knows that I may know. He may pull some shit on us.
Just judging through lots of experience with Marcus, I guess I'll ask for two things. First, like, beyond him also being a werewolf, you're like, oh, this person seems trustworthy. Do I get that vibe?
Insights?
Insight.
Okay.
Definitely an insight check.
I'll tell you right now, I'm probably going to use my, what's it called? Maneuver dice.
Okay. Unless you get 19. Are you still
I mean,
gonna
I'll
use
just
it? You're
use
still
it
gonna
anyway.
use it.
So,
Alright.
26.
26.
I mean, I have, like, I get 6 of these. Like, how often do I use them?
Never. I didn't even know you had
Yeah.
them. To be fair, I did not know you had them. You can trust him to an you feel that you can trust him to an extent, but you also have a weird feeling that you should keep an eye on him.
Another thing, I'll kind of retroactively use an ability. What's it called? Know your enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have more current HP than me?
Yes. What's your HP at?
76.
Yes. He has more than you have.
More fighter class levels?
Does it allow you to know that much? Because
I need to spend a minute observing or interacting with the creature outside of combat and learn information about comparing it to my own. So I don't learn if he has fighter levels. I learn if he has more than me.
so he has more HP than you, but he is also older than you, and he has experienced, I wouldn't say as much trauma as you have, but he has experienced a lot of combat in the past. And
More
he
HP
has
is a pretty
many
big deal. That means
scars to
I
prove
don't
it.
necessarily, like, more HP means that I don't necessarily think I can 1v1 him.
Yeah, or 2v2 him, 2v1 him.
Yeah, you
Because
probably
I definitely
can.
don't.
one of the fun things is that it's only more or less. So if he has 5 times as much HP as me, it provides the same result as if he has 1 more HP than me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the only thing I take from that is I don't know if I can personally take him. But it's like, if he were to become a foe, he would be a powerful one indeed.
Or he could be a powerful ally if we know how to use it, right?
Well, I know there's something up, but we have no information beyond that. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, well, I need to get some sleep, but probably in the morning I'm probably going to hit that library I was in, maybe do some research of what could have been on that paper.
Not really my thing, but that sounds like a good plan.
Alright. Mason just kind of holds his hand out for Fenrir to shake, like, well, even though this was under weirder circumstances for both, it was a pleasure working with you so far, Fenrir, and I do plan on helping you further with this predicament I've just learned about.
We'll look up like slightly surprised and be like, "Oh, pleasure," and they'll like shake your hand like is seen.
Yes, I will say this. Strength score is at -1, so it's kind of like more like you're kind of guiding his arm up and down more than anything.
Oh, bruh, my strength score is 20.
Yes, you're basically the character's trying to like
I am
shake
now
back.
imagining that my arms are literally twice the width of yours.
Just fully lifts you up as shaking hands. Like in those cartoons.
Yeah. As my familiar will finally get back to my shoulder, as Jason just kind of like waves off. See you at the library tomorrow.
All right.
Yes.
And I think that's a good place to end it for tonight, actually.
Right.
We'll do the library tomorrow. That'll be a good place to start for tomorrow. Or tomorrow. Next week.
Yeah.
Let me just write that down. That's where you guys want to go next.
Fighting its way through life.
Yes, very much so. Anyways, we will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.